So it's already April 22nd of 2025, and ever since the 14th, we all witnessed exactly what happened, not just with Katy Perry, and also Wendy's mocking Katy Perry and others going up into space via Blue Origin, but we all saw what happened not just with Blue Origin as a whole, but also with Jeff Bezos really trying to go into damage control mode and to really fix the entire situation. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing is for sure is that we know that Katy Perry and her overall behavior toward the critics, the overall criticism against Blue Origin, she's not taking the critics very well at this point. She's also not taking the fact that Wendy's mocked her on social media very well. That's exactly why not just her, but also her entire team actually spoke out against Wendy's. They're forcing them to apologize. They are telling them to reverse their overall action. There's a lot of things going on right now, but what's even worse has a lot more to do with what Katy Perry got caught just doing in light of the overall Blue Origin backlash as we speak. Now, interestingly enough, we know that Jeff Bezos, Scale King, Katy Perry, and among others like his fiancée, Jeff Bezos' fiancée, who was also on board, they are all trying to fix the entire scenario, the entire backlash against them, and they're doing it in the worst way possible. So let's get into this, shall we? Now, one thing that I really do not like about Bezos is that he's a very egotistical CEO. I mean, you know, when you look at a lot of these CEOs, you know, many of them are, but I think that Jeff Bezos is really up there, based on exactly what he's doing here with Katy Perry and among others that were on board over at Blue Origin. So let's get into the overall details about this. Now, specifically, with the Katy Perry backlash already hitting a new level after her team and even herself called out Wendy's for mocking her, one major development going on now, get this, involves more to do with Katy Perry herself and what she got caught going, of course, to do within the industry as this is now beginning to leak out. Now, a crucial update to this entire situation associated not just with Katy Perry, but also Blue Origin and even Jeff Bezos, is that the entire group that took part in the Blue Origin spaceflight, including Perry, recently had a very serious meeting with not just the executives over at Amazon MGM Studios, but also with Jeff Bezos himself, and how a new plan is going to focus on Katy Perry primarily. Already, Bezos is doubling down with Katy Perry and the overall backlash against her, and the entire flight for Blue Origin, where Perry specifically engaged herself in conversations with Bezos to create a new upcoming documentary series exclusive for Amazon Prime Video that will not just focus on Katy Perry herself primarily, but also Gayle King and others, and of course those that were on board to share their secrets and never before told thoughts about the Blue Origin flight. Now, Bezos and Amazon are already preparing to also call out the criticism and what they call the unnecessary backlash in this planned documentary that they want to drop on their platform as early as this fall. It turns out that Perry is the one who came up with this idea and pitched it to Bezos, and of course through her overall contacts over at MGM Studios via Amazon, and it's already spreading throughout the entire film industry, where even her very own team is now advising Katy Perry against it, since it will certainly create even more backlash come this fall, roughly around September to October of this year. Her team reportedly insisted that this would not be a good look for her. Bezos reportedly wants to use the overall negative press to his own advantage by incorporating that into his planned documentary that will focus on the all-female group going into the Blue Origin spaceflight. However, this documentary is planned to be Katy Perry focused, as she has been at the center of the entire story based on the criticism that she received. Now, both Katy and Jeff, of course, Bezos, are said to have already shook hands on this deal, and they are trying to map out the specifics on how the docuseries will be done to focus on the Blue Origin story that will actually focus on the social media outrage, as they are labeling it behind the scenes. Now, guys, before I move on, let me just say one thing about this. Does this not remind you of Meghan Markle at all? This is almost like what Meghan Markle would do, and basically what she already did on Netflix with her With Love Meghan series. This is basically the Katy Perry version of just that. Now you have not only Katy Perry dealing with the backlash in a very vocal way right now, but now she wants to actually double down on it for the months to come by actually involving herself in a docu-series that's going to be, of course, orchestrated by Jeff Bezos and Amazon MGM Studios, and how they want to do all of that It's also going to feature the entire group that was on board of the flight, you know, those like Gayle King, Jeff Bezos' fiance, among others, and sharing never-before-told thoughts and secrets about this space flight. I think it's going to be a disaster, and if anything, her team is right, it's going to create even more backlash. I can only imagine why they would advise her against doing this. You know, honestly, this is going to tank her career even further. We know that ticket sales are kind of stagnant right now for Katy Perry. She's becoming more and more irrelevant over time, and this is only going to make matters worse. In fact, she's already losing fans over how absurd she acted in the space flight and actually how she acted on the ground. But moving onwards, this is where it gets even worse, alright? Now, this is reportedly, of course, Perry's way of addressing the criticism to reach a wide-scale amount of people in a desperate move or effort to tame the backlash, and to also get her word out to the people through Amazon by this fall, since Perry already regrets the space flight to the deepest level, and how it was orchestrated on television that in turn led to her actually even losing fans. This plan between both Bezos and Perry is also going to focus on Perry dropping new details about her so-called training for the flight, and addressing those that are calling the flight a hoax. Perry and her team, of course, also believes that this will be a PR disaster. Now, Perry actually begs to differ on her end, and this could, of course, lead to further ticket sales declining for her overall concerts. Now, again, I think that her team is right. Them calling out Wendy's was wrong, but this is, of course, a right response. Them advising against this, I think, is the right move. They see exactly what's coming. They know that Perry is out of line. They know that Katy is just desperate at this point to kind of tame the backlash, to really settle the entire situation somehow in the months to come. I think it's going to make things worse. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is going to make things worse. And if anything, it makes you even seem more self-absorbed, and that you only did this for attention, that you only did this for the limelight or the spotlight, not for the overall chance to actually go up into space to a certain level, if you really want to call it that. But interestingly enough, Jeff Bezos also to blame here, because he's doubling down on this. He could have easily said, you know what, let's not do this. It may very well give Amazon a bad rep. It may very well give Blue Origin a bad rep. So let's actually shift away from that. Let's just not even do that. Instead, he's doubling down on this, and it's getting out to the entire industry, and how this is honestly, you know, gonna be, I think, one of the most widely criticized docuseries to come in 2025, if not within the past 5 to 7 years. Because you see the backlash of what's going on right now against Blue Origin. You can only imagine what it's going to be like in September to October, which are basically the months that they plan to drop this thing on Amazon Prime Video. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how this will be formatted, exactly how it will be orchestrated by Jeff Bezos and the executives over at Amazon MGM Studios. I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least, because of how big the backlash will be. I think it's going to be hilarious. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about Perry's overall act, and how she's actually trying to do things like this with Jeff Bezos. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.